Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions from the worlds of TV, film, pop culture, news, lifestyle, everything really depending on the guest. Talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. My guest, you'll recognize my guest from a lot of cool TV shows and movies. Most recently, you will recognize her as Kate Pierce in the Christmas Chronicles 2, dropping very soon on Netflix. We're with Darby Camp. Darby, welcome to Popternative.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I mean, you kind of dealt with it a little bit with Big Little Lies. You did one season of Big Little Lies, returned for a second season. Now you're playing Kate Pierce for the second time. How exciting is that, being able to play a character again for the second time, Darby?
It's super exciting. It's great to come back and see everyone again and even meet new people who have been added to the cast and crew. And it's really cool to see how your character grows and it's like playing a different version of them, It's really special.
Absolutely. Now, you've been doing this for quite some time. On Big Little Lies, you were about 8 years old, and you've been in a lot of TV shows, movies since. When did you kind of decide that acting and storytelling was something you wanted to do?
My mom had a degree in acting, and when I was very young, I'd always known about it and stuff. And when I was 4, I was like, I actually want to start doing this seriously. I actually want to start doing it. And when I was 6, I booked one episode and dropped Dead Diva, and then when I was 7, I booked The Leftovers. And after I did those, I was like, okay, I really want to do this now. And then after The Leftovers, I booked Big Little Lies, and it kind of kept going from there.
No, absolutely. And the one thing, when the first Christmas Chronicles came out, first thing that kind of grabbed my attention was what it looked like. You know what I mean? This is an incredible film, Chris Columbus, you know what I mean? So Christmassy. And the second one, I think, just kind of takes it to a new level. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool to see how the first one goes, and then I can't wait to see how the second one goes. It's adding on to the story.
Absolutely. Now, your character, Kate Pierce, in any from one movie to the other, you're growing, you know what I mean? You are, really into the Christmas cheer in the first one and everything. But in this film, you know what I mean? Like I said, you're growing, you know what I mean? You have some issues with certain things, you know what I mean? You're kind of figuring out what's going on and everything. Talk a little bit about the growth of Kate Pierce in the Christmas Chronicles 2 that we see that we didn't maybe see in the first one.
Yeah, definitely. In the first one, she was 10 and really into the Christmas spirit, and kind of hasn't really, taken it in that her dad is gone. She's of course really sad, but it was really recent, so she's still taking it all in. And in the second one, she's kind of still grieving the loss of her dad, and she's now a teenager and has gotten a little bit more mature and is kind of taking the role of the older sibling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With her mom's boyfriend's son. And, she's a little bit more selfish in this one and not really realizing and thinking about her family's feelings. And then you just can see how that changes throughout the movie and how she grows as a person throughout the second one, which I think is really cool.
Absolutely. And what I really liked about the sequel as well, too, is, we see some familiar faces like yourself, Santa Claus, and we meet Mrs. Claus at the end of the first movie. But now we also see some new faces as well. There's some new faces in there as well. So it's kind of a cool little balance of kind of the fresh faces and the old faces, right, Darby?
Yeah, definitely. It was really cool to, have people join the second one and kind of it was really cool to tell them about how the first one filming and I think it was cool for them too to add on to the story.
Absolutely. What are you hoping people get from A Christmas Chronicles 2? I mean, it's going to be a movie that everyone's going to watch around the holidays, but like you said, there's a lot of stuff in it that is very heartfelt, and there's some scenes in it, don't want to go into details and spoil, that are gonna make people feel a certain thing inside. You know what I mean? What are you hoping they get from the film, Darby?
I hope that everyone gets how important family is, and how a lot of people take that for granted, and having a family is very special,
Mhm.
um and really Christmas isn't really about where you are, and it's about like who you're with.
Mhm.
And I think this movie is really gonna I think it's gonna be great to come out during this year and make everyone feel better because of everything that's been happening this year. But I just can't wait, and I can't wait to see what other people's takes on it are, and how it goes, and how people like it.
Absolutely. Now, one can make. I called you on the top a storyteller because that's what you do, right? Whether you act, whether people act, right, direct.
Yeah.
You guys are storytellers. Darby Camp is a storyteller. Darby Camp is what people could say also like a young up and coming storyteller. You are basically you started at a young age. You know what I mean. You're learning every day and everything. But I wanted to know, how are you balancing, that life of, working at a young age, and then there's also, you're still a kid, you're going to school, you have hobbies. I mean, is that like, have you found a balance? Is it still difficult for you? How's that balance been, Darby?
It can be very difficult still. It's hard to be away from like my friends and family for a long period of time, and a lot of times when I come back, like my friends have like grown, and like they've kind of like moved on from certain things, and I'm kind of still like in the back. And a lot of times it's awkward when I see certain people when I come back, or like try to hang out with a group of people, because like they'll be talking about stuff that's happening at school, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was
you know
working, I was filming.
yeah, and but I have had some friends that will visit me on set and like see how that has been, which is super cool. One of my friends surprised me on set when I was filming Christmas Chronicles 2. It was super fun and special. But yeah, it can be difficult with that, trying to balance that out.
What I find really cool is, you have, the actor life has the TV shows and has the movies. I mean, and there's some actors that are in more TV shows than
Yeah,
movies, and the other way around. It seems like for people that have followed Darby Camp, there's kind of a balance between a good amount of TV shows that you've been on and a good amount of movies as well. That's kind of cool to
yeah.
think about, that you've kind of been able to, work a good amount in both kind of realms of the entertainment industry.
Yeah, it is. I really like it's really fun being like guest stars and like joining in a TV show for like a month or a few weeks, and just getting to learn what that's about, but then, just being there for like a quick trip. And it's really special to be in a movie as well, cuz you're there for the whole time, and it's just all of it is really really great.
Absolutely. So now, Christmas Chronicles 2, I need to ask this. I mean, it looks like this was a blast filming. It's very colorful. There's a lot going on and everything. I need to ask: was there anything fun or funny that happened on set? Whether it was a prank or something memorable that kind of stands out right now that happened while you filmed Christmas Chronicles 2?
So one time when I was filming, and it was December and it was Christmas time, my elf on the shelves came to set and visited, and Jazier Bruno, who plays Jack, he had never had one before, and so my elves brought him a friend, and so then he had his own on set, and he was very skeptical about this. He was like, I don't. This is sketchy. He's like, there are these little elves that follow you around and wash you all the time, and he was like, he's like, I'm good, no thanks. It was super funny.
Oh.
He was like, yeah, I'm just not gonna be part of this. It was really funny.
um, I just want to know too. I mentioned, anytime you work on a project, whether you've been doing it for quite a long time or whether it's one of your first projects, I mean, there's always going to be learning experiences. What were some learning experiences for yourself as an actor and a storyteller on the Christmas Chronicles 2, Darby?
Um, like I learned how to, like, with the director, you can always add in your own suggestions, and if something doesn't feel like natural, and you're like, maybe the scene should go, maybe if you would like to add something to the scene, like, always feel free to say something to the director and like add on something or improvise, and just to always be prepared, because you never know, like sometimes you don't know what's going to come, like you may be really ahead in the day and might add another scene to do at the end of the day, like you never know. Just to always be prepared, and that kind of stuff, and to just always be professional as well.
So I find that interesting because you mentioned, the director, talking to the director. I mean, a lot of people in the entertainment industry are wearing many hats. A lot of people know Darby Camp right now, like mainly as kind of an actor, being in all these TV shows and movies. But, there's like a lot of people that wear many hats, and they write and they direct and they produce. Is that something that you thought of? Like, do you want to kind of maybe tackle that when you're older?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I have been thinking about like how it would be cool to like direct something or even write something on my own, or just like produce something. That would just be super cool, and like to work on a project with one of my friends, and like I could like help and produce. Like that would be so cool, I think.
Absolutely, it's pretty cool too because there's a lot of your projects are already out right now that you're working on, but you've also, the actor life, firsthand, you're always booking things, you're auditioning, you're filming. There's a lot of exciting projects that people see on social media that have been announced that aren't even out yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Isn't that also exciting too? Because you're talking about like Christmas Chronicles too. There was Big Little Lies, but there's a lot of other things kind of happening right now. How do you kind of balance that? That must be a lot too.
Yeah, it's really cool to like hear about those things and see those things, it's really cool to like, just like know what's gonna happen about different projects. And I do have some upcoming projects actually. One of them is Dreamland. It actually came out yesterday, right? I think. Yeah, it came out yesterday, and it's with Margot Robbie, and she was an actor and producer in it, and it's really great. It's set in the Dust Bowl, and it's really wonderful. And also, Paramount did Dreamland, and they also did Clifford the Big Red Dog, which is coming out.
And you're gonna be Emily, right?
Yes, I am.
I grew up reading all those books. Like that is so cool. Like congrats on that.
Thank you. It's super exciting. It was supposed to come out around this time, but they had to push it to next year because it was going to be in theaters, and a lot of theaters aren't open. So they had to push it, but I'm excited for that one to come out next year.
And very quickly before we wrap up, Big Little Lies, I mean, that was a really big, cool role for you as well. That show, I always will. I mean, it was originally like a mini-series. I talked to Cameron Crevetti about this too. You all didn't know that there was going to be a second season. You thought it was just going to be the one season.
Yeah.
So that was exciting.
That was so exciting. Like I honestly did not think there was going to be another one. Like I'd be like, Dad, do you think there's going to be another one? And he's like, probably not. Sorry. It's a limited series. It's probably just going to be one season. I was like, okay, I just hope for the best. And then when I found out there's going to be a second season, I was so excited to just like go back and see everyone, and even meet new members of the cast as well, which Miss Meryl Streep was added to the cast in the second season. I love her so much. I was so excited to work with her. She's just the best.
That whole cast is just unbelievable. Like when that was announced, I remember that was announced. I was just like, even before trailers, I was just like, this is like a stellar cast from top to bottom.
Yeah, 100%. It was crazy to work with all of those amazing women. Like they're just incredible people. But yeah, it was so exciting to see all the kids again. We all still keep in touch, and we text like almost every day, and I just love them dearly. And I wish we lived closer, but they live in LA, and I live in North Carolina. So
and you're all doing amazing projects too, if you think about it. Like all the kids, like you're all doing, like Young Sheldon, The Boys, My Spy, Upload. Like you're all of you are doing amazing things, which is really cool too.
Yeah, we are. It's really cool to like see how they're doing and see what they're doing through social media, and it's really cool to see them in other projects, because you're like, I can't believe that's Ian, he's in Young Sheldon, that's so cool. Or like see Chloe in My Spy, I'm like, I can't believe it. It's so cool.
Absolutely. No, for sure. Chloe was in Upload, which is a show I watched on Amazon, which was awesome.
Yeah.
She was in that. She was in a few episodes of that, which is amazing. But Darby, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really enjoyed chatting with you.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.
So Christmas Chronicles 2 is dropping like fairly soon on Netflix.
Yeah, a week from today, I think. Yeah, which is incredible. I'm super, super pumped.
And it just looks so good, and everyone's gonna look forward to watching it on Netflix with their family. I mean, you're part of. Has it sunk in that you're part of the Netflix family? Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it kind of has. I still think it's insane. It's like it's crazy because it's Netflix, and it's like weird to think that I'm like a part of the Nice family now. It's so cool.
Absolutely. And where can people to keep up to date with projects? Where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
I have Instagram. On all my social medias is Darby Camp on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. Yeah, it's all Darby
Excellent.
Camp. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Congratulations with the success of your career so far. I wish you all the best, and I hope it just continues and continues. And good luck with the reception of Christmas Chronicles 2. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. You can catch Darby Camp and Christmas Chronicles 2 coming very soon on Netflix. And until next time, this is Darby Camp and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.